Hashtag a small help can change someone's whole life. Red Heart. In the heart of Chicago's bustling South Side, where the wind whipped through cracked sidewalks and the skyline loomed like a distant promise, lived a young man named Marcus Thompson. At 25, Marcus had already seen more hardship than most people twice his age. His father had been a factory worker, laid off when the plant shut down during the recession, and his mother worked double shifts at a diner just to keep the lights on. Marcus dropped out of high school to help, taking odd jobs, delivering pizzas, washing cars, anything to scrape by. But life had a way of piling on. His father passed away from untreated diabetes, and his mother fell ill with the same affliction. Bills mounted like snowdrifts in winter, and Marcus felt the weight of the world pressing down on his narrow shoulders. He dreamed of something better, of escaping the cycle of poverty that gripped his neighborhood like a vice, but dreams seemed as fleeting as the L trains rumbling overhead. One crisp autumn morning in 2015, Marcus was on his way to yet another dead-end interview at a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Dressed in his only suit, threadbare at the elbows, bought secondhand, he clutched a crumpled resume that listed more gaps than achievements. The bus was late, as always, and rain began to fall in sheets, soaking him to the bone. He ducked into a small coffee shop called Brewhaven, a mom-and-pop place run by an elderly couple, Mr. and Mrs. Alvarez. The aroma of fresh coffee and pastries enveloped him like a warm hug, a stark contrast to the chill outside. Marcus had exactly $3 in his pocket, enough for a small black coffee to steady his nerves. Behind the counter stood Elena Alvarez, a woman in her late 60s with kind eyes and a smile that could melt the hardest heart. She noticed Marcus's drenched state immediately. "Rough morning, huh?" she said, her voice laced with genuine concern. Marcus nodded, mumbling about the weather and his interview. As she poured his coffee, she added a muffin without charging him. "On the house," she whispered. "You look like you could use a little pick-me-up." It was a small gesture, nothing extravagant, but in that moment, it felt like the first ray of sunlight piercing through storm clouds. Marcus thanked her profusely, his voice cracking slightly. He sat in the corner, nibbling the muffin, feeling a spark of hope he hadn't felt in years. Little did Marcus know, that muffin was just the beginning. As he ate, Elena struck up a conversation from across the room. She asked about his life, his dreams. Marcus opened up, sharing his struggles, the loss of his father, his mother's illness, his desire to become a mechanic, but lacking the certification. Elena listened intently, her eyes never wavering. "You know," she said thoughtfully, "my husband used to be a mechanic. He retired years ago, but he still tinkers in our garage. Maybe he could give you some pointers." Marcus's heart raced. It was an offer too good to refuse. Before he left for his interview, Elena scribbled her address on a napkin. "Come by this weekend. No strings attached." The interview went poorly. The warehouse job required experience Marcus didn't have. Dejected, he almost tossed the napkin away, but something, perhaps that muffin's warmth, made him hold onto it. That Saturday, he showed up at the Alvarez's modest home in a quieter part of the neighborhood. Mr. Alvarez, a burly man named Carlos with grease-stained hands and a booming laugh, welcomed him like an old friend. The garage was a treasure trove of tools and half-assembled engines. "Let's see what you've got, kid," Carlos said, handing him a wrench. What started as a casual visit turned into weekly lessons. Carlos taught Marcus the intricacies of auto repair, not just the basics, but the art of it, diagnosing problems, improvising fixes, understanding the soul of a machine. Marcus absorbed it all like a sponge. For the first time, he felt capable, valued. Elena would bring out lemonade and sandwiches, sharing stories of their own hardships, immigrating from Mexico in the 70s, building a life from nothing. A small help, Elena often said, can change someone's whole life. Marcus didn't realize then how prophetic those words would be. Months passed, and Marcus earned his certification through an online program Carlos helped him enroll in, using the coffee shop's Wi-Fi after hours. He landed a job at a local auto shop, starting as an apprentice but quickly proving his worth. His wages allowed him to afford better care for his mother, whose health improved with proper medication. But the real transformation came when Marcus fixed a customer's car, a single mother whose vehicle had broken down, stranding her and her kids. She was grateful, and word spread. Soon, Marcus was known in the community as the go-to guy for reliable, affordable repairs. One day, a year after that fateful coffee shop encounter, Marcus received a call from a luxury car dealership downtown. They needed a skilled mechanic for high-end vehicles. Skeptical, he applied, acing the interview with knowledge honed in Carlos's garage. The job paid triple what he was making, with benefits. As he signed the paperwork, tears welled in his eyes. He rushed to Brew Haven to share the news. Elena hugged him tightly. See? A small help. But life, as Marcus knew, wasn't a straight road. Success brought new challenges. At the dealership, he faced prejudice from colleagues, who saw him as an outsider from the South Side. Whispers about his background, doubts about his skills. Marcus pushed through, letting his work speak for itself. He mentored younger apprentices, paying forward the kindness he received. One mentee, a teenager named Jamal, reminded him of his younger self, talented but troubled. Jamal's story mirrored Marcus's in eerie ways. Absent father, struggling mother, dreams deferred. Marcus took him under his wing, teaching him not just mechanics but life lessons. Keep your head up, he'd say. One small act can turn it all around. Their bond grew, and when Jamal faced expulsion from school for fighting, Marcus intervened, vouching for him and helping with anger management. As Marcus's career soared, he never forgot his roots. He started a small fund at the auto shop for community repairs, free fixes for those in need. Word spread beyond Chicago. A local news station featured him in a human interest story. From South Side struggles to mechanic mogul, the headline read. Views poured in, the video going viral with over 1 million hits. People from across the USA commented, sharing their own tales of small kindnesses that changed lives. Inspired, Marcus dreamed bigger. He opened his own shop, Thompson's Turnaround, specializing in eco-friendly repairs. Elena and Carlos were his first investors, dipping into their savings. The business thrived, employing locals and offering apprenticeships. Marcus's mother, now healthy, worked the front desk, her smile welcoming customers. But tragedy struck in 2020. The pandemic hit hard. Businesses shuttered, including Brew Haven. Elena and Carlos, in their 70s, faced eviction. Marcus, now financially stable, stepped in. He bought the coffee shop, renovating it into a community hub with a garage attached for quick fixes. Brew and Tune, he called it. Elena's muffins returned, and Carlos tinkered in the back. The reopening was a celebration. Neighbors gathered, sharing stories. Marcus stood on a makeshift stage, microphone in hand. A small help can change someone's whole life, he said, echoing Elena's words. It changed mine. And now, let's change others. The story didn't end there. Marcus's initiative caught the eye of a national foundation. They funded expansions to other cities, Detroit, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Each location embodied the spirit of kindness. Free coffee for job seekers, mechanic classes for youth, support for single parents. One recipient was Sarah, a veteran returning from Afghanistan with PTSD and a broken-down truck. Marcus's team fixed her vehicle for free, and he connected her with counseling. Sarah went on to start a non-profit for veterans, crediting that small help as her turning point. Another was Miguel, an undocumented immigrant fearing deportation. Marcus helped him navigate legal aid, and Miguel became a lead mechanic, his family thriving. Years rolled by. By 2025, Thompson's turnaround had franchises nationwide, employing thousands. Marcus, now in his 30s, married his high school sweetheart, Layla, who'd supported him through the lean years. They had 2 kids, teaching them the value of empathy. On a quiet evening, Marcus visited Elena and Carlos, now retired, in a cozy home he helped them buy. "You saved me," he said. Elena smiled. "No, Mijo. You saved yourself. We just gave a push." The ripple effects were endless. Jamal, now a shop manager, mentored others. Sarah's nonprofit helped hundreds. Miguel's success inspired immigration reform advocates. In a divided America, Marcus's story became a beacon. A TED Talk invitation came, his speech, "The Power of Small Helps," garnering millions of views. He spoke of unity, how one act bridges divides, race, class, politics. Critics emerged, calling it too idealistic. But Marcus persisted, partnering with schools for vocational programs, reducing youth unemployment. Personal trials tested him. Layla's cancer diagnosis in 2028 shook their world. The community rallied, fundraisers, meals, support echoing the help he'd given. Layla recovered, stronger. "Your kindness came back," she said. Marcus reflected on that rainy morning. A muffin, a conversation, a napkin. Small yet monumental. His empire grew, but humility remained. He volunteered at shelters, reminding the homeless. One small help. By 2030, Marcus ran for local office, winning on a platform of compassion. As alderman, he pushed for affordable health care, job training, policies born from experience. National attention followed. A book deal. A small help, changing lives one act at a time. It topped bestseller lists, adapted into a film starring a Hollywood A-lister. The premiere in Chicago was star-studded. Elena, frail but beaming, cut the ribbon. In the film's climax, Marcus's character says, "In this vast country, from coast to coast, we're all connected. A small help isn't small, it's the spark that ignites change." Audiences wept, applauding. The movie grossed millions, but views on streaming platforms skyrocketed, over 100 million worldwide. Marcus's life proved the title. From a drenched young man to a change-maker, all because of a kind word, a muffin, a lesson. And so, the cycle continued. Readers of his book started. Small help chains. Random acts documented online, trending with hashtags "Small Help Changes Lives." In small towns like Appalachia, a teacher tutored a struggling student, leading to a scholarship. In bustling New York, a banker forgave a loan, saving a family business. In sunny California, a surfer rescued a drowning child, inspiring ocean safety programs. Each story a testament. A small help can indeed change someone's whole life. Marcus, now graying, watched from his office overlooking Lake Michigan. His mother's photo on the desk, Elena's muffin recipe framed on the wall. He picked up the phone, calling a young entrepreneur with a pitch. "Come by. Let's talk." The legacy lived on, one small help at a time.